Alrighty, so getting into the presentation, what we hope to do this evening is provide a brief overview of the overall planned improvements along the Blackiston Mill corridor. Okay, so we're here tonight to primarily discuss Phase 2 construction, but understand that this is a part of a greater effort. We're going to talk about the purpose and need of the project. Why is the town of Clarksville investing in Blackiston Mill Road and upgrading the infrastructure? We're also going to talk about more of the details for Phase 2, the construction schedule, the timeline, the cost, and how is it going to impact you getting in and out of your homes and businesses. And then we're also going to discuss a communication plan. We want to make sure that you all know that we're not just talking to you here tonight, that we're going to make steps to continue the communication process with you all through construction. So as far as the overall Blackiston Mill Road improvements, the plan over the entire corridor, it's approximately 1 mile in length from Lewis and Clark Parkway all the way to Gutford. Phase 1 was completed back in 2020. Went from Lewis and Clark Parkway approximately 600 feet north, essentially that northern driveway at Kroger. And with Phase 1, we widened the existing roadway quite a bit. We upgraded a lot of the drainage in Phase 1 additionally. Again, Phase 2, what we're talking about here tonight, basically that northern drive of Kroger, all the way to Ultra Drive. The heavy construction for Phase 2 is going to happen this year in 2023. There may be some lighter construction components that will carry over into 2024. And then Phase 3 is currently in the pipeline. There's a long way to go with that as far as the development. We're talking about right-of-way, environmental process, and that sort of thing. But it's currently anticipated to go to construction in 2028. So as far as the existing conditions, I don't want to bore you with a bunch of engineering lingo here, but Blackiston Mill Road is functionally classified as a minor arterial. Approximately 12,300 cars a day pass through Blackiston Mill Road. So why is that important, you may ask? So those two things, along with the crash data, has made this a good candidate to receive federal funding. Okay, so the town of Clarksville, good stewards of the taxpayers' money, they have received federal funding to pay for 80% of this project, which is huge. The existing roadway has two 11-foot lanes. There's not much of a shoulder out there. There's no curb and gutter, which is not ideal for an urban type project. There are some drainage concerns out there, and there's no sidewalks out there. So if you live within Phase 2, you want to walk to Kroger to get a loaf of bread, you don't have a safe or efficient way of doing that. Okay. So as for the need for improvement, again, some of the crash data is listed here. 121 crashes in a 5-year period from 2008 to 2013. Some of the delays that you experienced, the queuing out there, was addressed in Phase 1. Phase 1, again, was more in the heavier commercial area. But as this project advances northward into Phase 2 and 3, we're also going to continue to see some improvements there. The existing pavement is nearing the end of its life cycle. Okay, asphalt, at some point in time, it becomes oxidized, it becomes really brittle, it starts to crack up. So the actual pavement out there, it's due for a replacement. Drainage, I'm sure you've all noticed some issues with drainage out there. That will greatly be improved with this project. We'll get into more details on that in a sec. And then, again, no sidewalks, and that will be corrected with this project. So as far as the proposed improvements go, this is a depiction of, we call this the typical section of the roadway. So the southern portion of Phase 2, kind of as we approach the commercial area, around Kroger, the road will be widened a little bit there as we develop those turn lanes. But once we get north of Alderwood, we're going to go back to a 2-lane section, two 11-foot lanes. You're going to see curb and gutter, which is greatly going to improve some of the drainage. And then we're going to have sidewalks on each side of your roadway. Okay. And then as far as your drainage improvements goes, asphalt, it's an impervious surface, right? So rainfall comes, it's going to dissipate, and it's now going to be collected by a curb and gutter instead of going in your yards. Curb and gutter is going to direct storm water into an underground storm sewer trunk line that's going to be placed under the Blackiston Mill Road pavement. And then additionally, there's going to be a large drainage basin that's going to be constructed in front of Blackiston Mill Bowl. And with that drainage basin, it's going to increase a lot of the stormwater capacity for storage. And then with that, it's going to greatly reduce the risk of flash flooding. So as a part of any major public improvement project, utilities are involved. Almost all utilities largely utilize public right-of-way to accommodate their facilities. So when a municipality such as Clarksville, they want to do an improvement project, widen their footprint, put in new drainage, a lot of times utilities are in conflict with that construction. So you've probably been seeing since probably October, a lot of the utilities have been active out there. CenterPoint Gas, they finished their relocation in February. Duke Energy, your electric provider, they've moved their electric poles east of Blackiston Mill Road. Charter Communications and AT&T, two communication utilities, they'll soon be relocating their aerial facilities to the new Duke Energy poles. That actually should be wrapping up very soon. But the big one that I want to talk to you all about is Indiana American Water. Indiana American Water has an existing 8-inch water main out there, and they are going to upgrade their water main to a 24-inch diameter pipe. That is a huge pipe. So when we talk about utility relocations, for instance, CenterPoint Gas, they bored the majority of their relocations. So for what you saw, you didn't see a lot of mess. It was a smaller pipe. They were able to do that. But with a 24-inch pipe that has to be placed 5 to 6 foot deep, they're going to open up some big trenches. They're going to be removing a lot of dirt, and the location of that is going to be under the proposed pavement. So we actually have to backfill that trench with granular rock type material that has to be compacted. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take up a lot of room. So starting March 15th, Blackiston Mill Road will be closed to accommodate Indiana American Water's relocation. The contractor is Dave O'Mara. You'll see some Dave O'Mara trucks out there. They will be doing that work. We'll talk a little bit more about the closure in a second. So as for the road construction details, I mentioned earlier this project has federal money associated with it. So it was let through NDOT. So back on February 10th, MAC Construction was the low bidder. MAC's out of New Albany. The cost for this project come in at $2.7 million. As far as the schedule goes, again, water line will start next week, a week from tonight, March 15th. We expect the water line relocation to be completed by May 1st. So around that time, MAC should be starting the actual road construction. The project has an intermediate completion date set for November 20th of this year. So what that means is that all drainage structures should be in place, all sidewalks should be in place. The pavement section itself will be complete except for the final surface coat, the final 1.5 inches. So pavement markings won't be a part of that, but it will be sufficient enough to open it back up to traffic. So hopefully here by Thanksgiving, if everything goes like it should, traffic will be back up and going, leaving only some lighter construction type work to do in 2024. That would be putting down the final asphalt coat, proposed pavement markings, and then if there's any issues as far as getting vegetation established, that sort of thing, we'll take care of that. And all that work has to be done by July 28th of 2024. So getting into the maintenance of traffic plan, okay, so this work has to be done under a closure. So traffic will be detoured utilizing Lewis and Clark Parkway, Lynch Lane, and Longfellow Drive. So the term close to through traffic, what that means basically is at each end of Blackiston Mill Road, the barricades will be staggered, okay? So if you live within those project limits, you have every right to get to your home. And it will be Mac Construction's responsibility to provide you access to your home every single night. If someone is just trying to, to cut through on Blackiston Mill Road, they are not supposed to be doing that. That is the distinction there. So I do want to be real with everyone. It is a construction project. There's going to be a lot of equipment going on. There's going to be dirt and dust. That's just life, okay? The pavement will actually be ripped out at some point in time. So it may be a fact where one day you come home and there's a gravel roadway for you to get into your driveway. I also want to let you know that all of your driveways, the portion of your driveways that are within public right-of-way, they will be replaced with concrete. So you're going to get a portion of a new driveway. It's going to be concrete. Concrete takes 3 to 5 days to set up. So there may be a period there where Mac and Lockmuller Group may be reaching out to you all to arrange something during those days. If you have 2 drives to your property, it's no big deal. We'll do 1 driveway at a time. If you have a wide driveway, we can construct it a half at a time. But if you have a single narrow driveway, we may have to ask that you park at a neighbor's house, something like that, or on the street, just for that 3 to 5 day period while the concrete is curing. Okay? And then again, this is the detour. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. This graphic is in the back. Right here we have Blackiston Mill Road. The detour is going to utilize Lewis and Clark Parkway, Lynch Lane, and then up to Longfellow Drive. Okay. So one of the last things that I want to talk to you about is a communication plan. Okay, Lockmuller Group, we pride ourselves in reaching out to you all and keeping you connected during the projects. Residents, businesses, town of Clarksville, we all want to keep you in the loop of events that are happening. So what type of things will we share with you? Just important stuff. We're not going to bug you. Notifications of road closures, if there's a planned utility outage, something along those lines, we will pass that pertinent information on to you. We also do a monthly newsletter, and you will all get that. So with that, we provide just general updates on the project. Is things advancing like they should? Are we behind schedule? Those type of things. And that's going to be delivered to you all via this email address, okay? And if you got a minute, you got a pen, you want to write it down. If not, that's okay. We can talk about it later. But it's Blackiston Mill PH2 at lockgroup.com, okay? How do you sign up to receive these type of notifications? So we've got 3 different ways that you can do this. So one, I'm going to go back to this email address. If you write this down, the Blackiston Mill PH2 at lockgroup.com. If you email that, we will have your email address and we will include you on our distribution list. Alternatively, we have a sign-up sheet at each row of tables. Put down your name, put down your email address, we'll add you to our distribution list. And finally, as a follow-up to tonight's meeting, we're going to be distributing door hangers, all right? And on these door hangers, we're going to have information on how to sign up to receive these notifications. We're also going to have contact information to utilize during construction. We should get those door hangers out either late this week or early next week. So the final slide here, on the right here, this is a picture of the door hanger that you're going to see. So construction contacts will be on that door hanger. Okay, I want to make sure you all know that. The Blackiston Mill PH2 email address is on that door. Will be on that door hanger also. Okay. Quickly want to introduce to you all Corey Dolt. Corey's with Lockmuller Group. He's going to be our project engineer on site. He's going to be our boots on the ground person responsible for overseeing construction. He will be your primary contact. He's going to know more about the project than anyone else. So make sure you get a chance to either write his number down. Corey's got some business cards there in the back. Take a chance to stop and meet Corey later. And again, I'm Chad Gibson. I'm Corey's supervisor. My contact information is there as well. Feel free to reach out to me at any time. And then with Mac Construction, it's Doug Jacobs. And Mac is the person or the entity you want to contact in the event of an emergency. So if it's a late night, something strange happens during the weekend, non-working hours, Mac Construction is really who you need to contact. So with that, I think I'm wrapped up and ready to open things up to any questions that you may have.